All right. Let's get our first guest on here, man. He is a monster. He is the light heavyweight, the cruiser heavyweight, and the heavyweight champion for Cage Wars MMA, and he will be fighting and defending his light heavyweight title January 21st, right? January 21st.
Boom, my friend.
Your boys,
You are
Mike and Mish,
correct.
will be at that event, and we are so pumped. Thank you, Ben Field, for that invite. Let's bring him on right now. He is the 3-division champion, Corey Norman. What's going on, man?
Hey, guys. How you guys doing?
We are
great.
good. Welcome to the show. This is Mission Accomplished, the spot where combat sports meets combat vets. I am Kyle. That is Mike. Welcome to the show.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me on. And again, I said it before in the intro, but thank you for your service.
Man, we appreciate that. So this is the guy, the man, the myth, the legend, the 3-division champion. We hear so much. Mike,
I love how you laughed at the man.
He laughed.
Legend,
Yeah,
you
he's
laughed
like,
at it.
legend. Well, I don't know, man. Three divisions. That's what caught my ear when Ben invited us to come to the Cage Wars event. We had seen some Cage Wars events in the past, but I'm not super familiar with all the fighters on the roster.
Yeah.
Ben's like, I want you guys to come up here. I want you to cover the event. I want you to be a guest of the promotion. This is who's going to be fighting. And I'm like looking into all of it. And I'm like, wait a second, this dude's he's a champion in 3 divisions. How does that happen?
I've never seen that before.
So tell us a little bit about that. What led to the journey of becoming a 3-division champ? It's insane.
Whew, how much time you got?
How much time you got, fella?
Yeah. I mean, so I got started in MMA, early 2000s, and went on a hiatus and got my master's degree and started teaching, and then got married, had kids, that whole song and dance, and started stringing together some pretty good victories in some grappling tournaments, and figured I'd give MMA another try. So then 2018 picked back up. So that was like an 11-year hiatus. And I won my first match in 1 minute and 45 seconds. And then right after that, went to a title fight for the light heavyweight title. And then it was kind of difficult to find opponents. So they found somebody for me to fight at cruiser heavyweight and won that. And then, and then I was able to defend my light heavyweight title one more time after that. And then nobody wanted to fight me for quite some time. And then a really good friend of mine called me up and asked me if I wanted to be in his wedding and if I wanted to fight him for the heavyweight title. I went from there.
Wow.
Now that was Morrow, right? Al Morrow? Is it?
Yeah, it was Al.
Al Morrow. And you had fought him twice. This would have been the second time you guys fought, correct?
Yes, this was a rematch. Yeah, I fought him originally for the light heavyweight title.
No, were you in his wedding?
He is getting married October 23rd of next year.
That's pretty outstanding, man.
He can invite us. If he invites us, we're able to get out of probably the worst drill that we have all year. So let's try to get on that invite list.
Go for it. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
what month was it?
October.
Oh, yeah. October. See, I'm hoping that I'm not sitting in the position that I'm sitting in currently come next October. Right now, I'm currently the first sergeant for my company. So I'm like the guy who's in charge of 240 plus soldiers.
That's like first on the ground, first last to leave, right?
Yeah. So it's like, hopefully by
he's
next
like the dad of the unit.
I'm like everybody's dad. Yeah.
It's cute.
So I'm a dad of 2. I got 2 sons at home. I got a basketball team of 5 to 7-year-olds that I coach, and then I go to work and I'm in charge of the 240 stubborn adults.
Yeah. Oh, I hear that.
It's quite the life.
So when you were saying like the man, the myth, the legend, so I teach social studies for at-risk and troubled youth, and when you were saying like, oh, the man, I mean, the amount of shit talk that I get from my students keeps me real humble. So anytime we're like, oh, you're so good, I go in and like, you ain't shit, motherfucker.
So what are the ages of the kids that you teach?
So currently, I'm saying that I have the best homeroom that I've had probably in my entire 12 years of teaching. My seniors are fantastic. But I mean, I'm certified to teach 7 through 12 in New York State, I mean, definitely some challenging kids. But I mean, it's why I get up in the morning.
So you teach seniors in high school?
I teach seniors. I teach. I've got a 10th grade global class I'm teaching. because I'm teaching participation in government, and we'll be switching over to economics the second half of the year. And I'm also I actually have a fun one this year. I'm teaching local history, so I get to talk all about local Buffalo history, stuff like that.
Buffalo, nice. Are the Gronkowskis from Buffalo?
This is again. I got to admit this. I've never played football a day in my life, and I don't care. I just don't.
No, don't
No,
watch
that's
it.
cool,
No.
man. That's crazy. A guy like your size, your stature and everything. Not being let me tell you something. Like you said, troubled youth, right? They asked me to come to my old high school at NFA in Norwich, Connecticut, and they were like, "Can you come in and talk to this class?" It was the bad kids class. And I go in there as I think it was an E7 at the time. I can't remember. I might have been an E6, but either way, just come in, talk to the kids about, the possibilities of going into the military.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey guys, my name's Kyle Mish. I'm like, I've been in the military for 16 years. I did this, and this. I went to this school. I was kind of a troubled youth myself. Give them the whole spiel. I'm like, any questions? How many people you killed?
First question, absolutely.
Yeah.
Is it like Call of Duty? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you in the back. If I want to kill someone, which branch do I join? I'm like, join the Marines. Next question. When was the first time you shot at someone? I'm like, okay, anybody got any questions that doesn't have anything to do with killing someone or shooting at somebody?
It's not going to re-trigger any kind of traumatic experience that I had in my life.
Yeah, no hands are going up. I don't know. The one kid's like, do they take kids that have like issues? I'm like, what do you mean? The kid's like, I'm on a lot of meds. I'm like,
In front of everyone.
Yeah. I'm like, well, there's a workaround for everything, man.
So kudos for self-awareness, at least.
Yeah. We got a waiver for you, buddy.
Yeah, exactly.
So, all right. So getting back to, you took that, you took an 11-year hiatus from fighting?
Yeah. I fought for Power Fights out in Chicago in 2007. That was my last fight before I kind of, like I said, got my master's and went back into it. So
that's wild, man. And then 11 years later, you pop right back into the scene and you go on a 6-fight win streak and win 3 titles, right?
Correct.
It's crazy. And when you weren't doing MMA, you were doing grappling tournaments?
I mean, here and there, yeah. I was doing some grappling tournaments, in and around New York. Like I said, they host the New York State Submission Wrestling Championships out in Fredonia, New York, and I did that there.
Dude, he says Fredonia, and like I got to tell you, me and him were just at the
up in Fredonia. You don't know Fredonia?
I've never heard of it in my life.
What the fuck's wrong with you, Fredonia?
We went to Salamanca, New York.
Yeah, it's right in our neck of the woods.
Right, never heard of that before either. We went out there for an event for bare knuckle, and I'm like,
Belfast.
We're like, dude, hey, I'm like, hey, Mike, let's not even buy plane tickets. We'll just drive. It's in New York. We're in Connecticut and Rhode Island. It can't be that far. Salamanca is an 8.5-hour drive. I was like, how can that possibly be in New York and be 8.5 hours away?
It's insane.
My best good friend lives actually up in Groton by you guys, and it's a hike.
Who in Groton?
His name's Okechukwu.
Is he a fighter?
No, he's not.
Oh, I was gonna say because I think. What was big boy super heavyweight for cage?
Jeremy
Wars. Woolfolk was down here at the sub base, right?
Yeah, he was. My goodness, he's hell on wheels. Yeah, he's down Midwestern, the South right now. I don't know where he is, but
I think he was going to like Illinois or something like that. And he said he was going to go pro. We talked to him.
That was
probably
like
a year
Christmas
ago.
time last year.
Yeah, about a year ago. We were asking him. And it was like right in the heart of pandemic, and we're like, so you're not fighting right now. What's the plan? Are you going to go back and, defend your Cage Wars belts? Or he said, I'm probably not going back. I'm going to do like a little farewell thing and probably go pro. Now I haven't heard from him since, so I wonder if he.
I messaged him right before the fight just to ask him because, like I said, I hadn't competed. So back in 2007, I competed heavyweight, and dealing with the weight cut and everything else, just trying to kind of get my head around the weight differential. I'd message him, and I mean, like I said, Jeremy Woolfolk is just an extremely kind human being, other than being an absolute lethal monster as well. But it was gave me a lot of good advice and a lot of good insight. And I hope he fights again. He was awesome to watch.
Can you imagine him on a submarine?
No,
No fucking way. No
not
fucking
at all.
way. Like absolutely not. Hey, I gotta ask you. There's some people in the comments.
Yeah.
What's up with cream corn? Cream corn. Why they keep calling you Corey Cream Corn Norman? What's that?
Well, those people are what I like to call haters, and I don't blame them because they have to have something to do. I'm going to guess that that's either Ed or that's Ben. And if it's either of them, and I see those comments, I'm going to have direct commentary for them as well. So there's that.
Well,
There's no. You're not going to tell
not
us.
either one of those people.
I am not going to say that because it's absolutely disgusting, and I'm almost throwing up in my mouth.
No, Ben says,
the thing,
how about them legs, though?
God damn it, Ben. I am sensitive about my size. Every time I get in the cage, I hear from Will Berry or Kyle Carey, like, tree trunks. Just thighs are tree trunks. Although I will say, Will didn't say anything last time. Neither did Kyle. But I mean, people talk about my legs quite a bit. So
you hear them while you're fighting, and you're like, these motherfuckers.
No, I say it's never that, but it's always just, I'm like, I was like, I work really hard on all parts of my body. It's not just my eyes are up here, but I mean.
Well, I got to tell you, man, I think it was the last fight you had when you won that third title, and Ben was in there drooling over you in the fucking post-fight interview. He was staring deep into your eyes in that post interview.
He does. Absolutely. I mean, there's a deep spiritual bond that Ben has with me. And it's just, I mean, I try to cut it off, but it's like those, 1980s ballad songs. You just can't stop that. Can't fight that feeling anymore. So.
It's a bit alarming, actually.
Right? Exactly.
You guys are co-workers, kind of.
Kind of, right? I mean, there's got to be some kind of HR dispute that I could bring up, but
I think so.
He says, I'm not a hater, I'm a tater.
Oh, God, Ben.
Oh, man. Yeah. So speaking of Wolfolk going pro, do you have plans on maybe venturing in the pro direction after another fight or two? Or I know that defending 3 titles is damn near impossible. So I'm assuming that you're going to vacate one of these at some point, right?
So actually, the other fight on the card is for the heavyweight title. So I mean, Al is fighting. I don't know what his name is, but he's fighting somebody for the heavyweight title because, yeah, I mean, it's sheer math about it. I'm not going to hold up 3 different divisions on that. But yeah, I'll be defending the light heavyweight title, and then I think I'd like to go pro. I'd like to throw my hat in the ring and see what I can do.
There you go. I would not to say anything wrong, but you watching all your fights and then watching that heavyweight one, you were physically drained. Like you weren't the same fighter as your other fights. You still won the fight, but you can tell that the extra weight you had probably put on 20 more extra pounds to get in there for the heavyweight title fight, right?
So the dirty little secret about that fight was I was pretty sure that I broke my foot about maybe 5 days before that fight. I got x-rays and they said no, that I hadn't broken it, but I had smashed the tendon on the top of that foot. So my mobility was pretty much gone. And then my daughter was kind of sick the week of, and I stayed home from work that day and helped her. And I woke up and she was on my face and just drooling in my mouth. I'm like, this is gonna be fantastic. And then I got bronchitis that week. So I went into that fight. So I went into that fight with a messed up foot and bronchitis. And in my head, I'm like, this is that, George St. Pierre UFC 100 round 4 thing. He's like, I don't care if he's like, just do it. So I just redlined the hell out of it, and I got the win. It was not, but I mean, in all fairness, no, that was not the cleanest win that I've ever gotten. But I absolutely love that fight for the fact that I know what I was going through, and what was on display in that fight more so than my skills was just the mentality. So, I mean, and that's not to say that I wouldn't do heavyweight again, but I absolutely think that my best skill set is probably at 205, and I would agree with that.
What is your walk around weight? You're a big dude. If anybody hasn't seen this guy fight, he's you're a fucking massive dude. So, what's your walk around weight? 230?
So right now I'm about 227, 228. And by end of this week, I'll be down to 225, which means that I can just maintain there until about January 14th, and then the rest of the cut will begin.
Then you start fucking cycling the water weight. I mean, like,
Yep, it'll be the hyperhydration with 2 gallons of water a day.
Yeah.
Yep.
What the fuck was I just gonna say?
You know what I was gonna say?
You started having post-traumatic stress response to hearing about that water cut.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
Go ahead, Mike.
Is that the roughest part though? Like I feel like it's got to be the worst part of fighting is people cutting the damn weight before the fight. It just seems to be so brutal sometimes, and then having to like fight. Like I can't imagine being like super sick or really dehydrated today, and then I'm like, and now I'm gonna fight tomorrow. You know, like I want to recover tomorrow. I don't want to fight tomorrow.
I mean, honestly, no. I mean, I like it. I like the weight cut. I like the science behind it. I do. I like the science behind it. I'm glutton for punishment. The hardest part about this is the people who didn't sign up to be gluttons for punishment. Because I mean, I'm not a joy to be around most days. And then when, I am, calorie deprived and sleep deprived and, everything else. And, trying to be the best dad that I can be on that is difficult. And it's, I mean, they talk about this like this is a selfish sport, and it's hard to do that with other people, and especially when it's little people as well, to help them understand. And I mean, and having 3 little girls, and again, I was saying that my proudest moment as a father was hearing my kids, fighting in the next room and hearing them scream, "Don't pull guard! That's for sissies!" And so hearing that is one of my best parenting moments ever. But to also know that comes. That comes at a cost, and
that's awesome.
That's a hard thing, and dealing with the selfish nature of this sport that's the biggest struggle. Everything else I love every single moment of this.
So that answers one of my questions. I was going to ask, does your kids watch your fights?
Oh yeah, they're huge critics too.
That's fucking awesome. Mike, can I point out his shirt? This might be the best shirt.
This
might be the best shirt.
Love it.
So this was a Christmas
just look
gift
at
from one of my students. So okay, do you guys know what this is from?
Yeah. Oh, would you look at that?
Ed Bassmaster.
Would you look at that?
So this was one of the things that I would talk about with my students, like when they would like say anything about, "Would you look at it?" Just like, "No, I'm running around the car." So this was a Christmas present from one of my students, and I was almost in tears. I was like, I love you so much.
That's a
you got me running all around the car.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a fantastic shirt. I fucking love it. My friend of mine, he's obviously an internet sensation, and like my friend who just left, she worked right alongside me for a long time. She got a new job. She went someplace else, but she used to get me stuff like that. She got me there was the dead giveaway. You ever see that dude that was the black dude on the news, and
yep.
The girl escaped from a house. He's like, I knew something was wrong when a pretty little white girl came running to a black guy's arms. Dead giveaway. She got me a shirt with that dude on the front, and it said "dead giveaway." And I'm like, that's one of my favorite shirts.
It's
great.
crazy because that is like
super
live
specific
news. That's like live news, though. Anytime something like that, like that's a really serious. 3 girls were locked in this guy's basement, had kids and shit, everything, and that is the thing that came out of it. This guy saying "dead giveaway."
Right? Yeah, not the
live
actual,
on the news.
Horrific event that preceded it, but no, we're gonna make a meme out of this.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely, man. That's a great shirt. Ben wants me to ask you about the stolen kielbasa. What is it with you and Ben?
Ben, I'm not answering that damn question. Listen, you want to put those comments up, Benjamin? I'm not answering that. Okay, so no, you know what? I am going to do this. Okay, so I was taking like a progress photo, and I was like, man, this is the first time I've been 240 pounds in a long time. I didn't look like this the last time I was 240 pounds. I felt great about it. I made the damn mistake of taking that shirtless photo in gray sweatpants, and apparently the internet lost its mind. I got marriage proposals from people in Moldova. I was like, what is going? And then Ben was like, hey, you're just smuggling a kielbasa. And I was like, why are you making that goofy ass voice and telling me? Yeah, it was a progress photo. It was absolutely a progress photo.
Everybody on the internet was like, "Oh, would you look at that?"
Oh my God, it was horrendous. And like, because originally I was like, oh, my friend's just gonna shit talk me, but like, what the fuck? Put a shirt on. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, but then the 300 plus comments that I got, I was not prepared for at all.
That's fucking fantastic.
No me gusta.
Hey, so one of your former opponents that you lost, I mean, you won due to illegal strikes.
Yes.
Just fought this past weekend. Are you aware?
Hamdi?
Yes.
Good for him.
Hamdi fought and he won in Gamebred FC this past weekend. But
was this his second fight for them?
Yes.
Yes, it was. And Mike and I were talking about this today. He hit the dude. Like, I'm not shit talking Hamdi at all, but he did the exact same thing in Gamebred to his opponent.
The ref didn't say shit.
The referee didn't do shit. He was punching him bare knuckle in the back of the fucking head over and over and over again. And we're like, man, that must be his MO.
Looks familiar. Yeah.
Very familiar.
I have a question about that fight. After the fight, because I didn't see the event live. So
Yeah.
So what I saw or we saw was the clip of the fight and then it ended. So when it ended, he was like standing in front of you guys still yelling in the ring about the outcome of the fight. What happened after that? Like, he's in the ring yelling. They announced that you win. That's when the video cut off.
He was yelling to a bunch of different people. I even went up to him. I was like, "Hey," I was like, "This happens." I was like, "I understand that you're upset." I was like, so I've been trained in therapeutic crisis intervention. I mean, you're just working with the kids that I do. So I mean, that kind of took over, and I was like, "Hey, I understand you're upset. We can talk about this. This is not the place to do this. There are cameras on you right now. This is just a bad look, man." And he was screaming, he was yelling, and I understand being frustrated with that. I understand being worked up about that. I know he was pissed about me taking him down in the first round and everything else that went along with that.
He's an Olympic wrestler, right?
Yeah.
And you took him down.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So he won that fight on Saturday. Ben's asking in the comments, did he throw a fit there too? No, he did not throw a fit because he actually won that one. The referee did not stop him from fucking pummeling the dude's back of his head, which is insane. And that's a whole nother conversation. If you watch that Gamebred FC event, the refereeing was suspect at best. With that said, is that something that you would ever consider? Have you shown any interest in any of the bare knuckle organizations that are out there now? Because that's really starting to catch fire as far as combat sports go. And Jorge Masvidal started Gamebred FC, and Gamebred FC is bare knuckle mixed martial arts. And I was wondering if that's something that you'd find interesting.
I've personally never really watched any of the events or anything like that. I think it is. I always think it's interesting when people kind of come up with a new tilt on the sport, and I think that this is a much more syndicated and a much more well organized version of like the team fighting stuff that we saw coming out of Russia and all the stuff that happened with that. I'm not really interested in doing bare knuckle or anything like that. I know that it definitely changes the dynamic of the punches, changes the dynamics of the injuries that you're going to get. It definitely allows for a little bit more of the grappling and ground and pound, just because you're not going to be able to throw an overhand right as hard as you want without the aid of a glove. So I definitely it adds some really interesting metrics to it, but I'm not really interested in it at this moment.
It's wild as hell, I can tell you that.
I believe that.
Yeah, it's wild. The cuts are crazy.
The cuts are crazy, but like Joe Rogan's been saying for a while that they need to take gloves out of MMA because it limits the grappling and the jiu-jitsu aspect of MMA. Like you could do so much more stuff with your bare hands. So like it's almost like rewinding to the beginning of the UFC when there were no, you know what I mean? It's almost a rewind. I don't know if Gamebred is going to last very long. They're only 3 events in, but you could definitely tell that they're learning as they go. You know, like the first event was not so good. Second one a little better. So,
And that's the interesting part of, all of this is just that it is one of the oldest sports, and it's also one of the newest attractions. So it's an interesting way to go about it, just trying to find ways to do it and also keep people safe, it's a really weird paradigm to kind of try to find the balance of. I am interested to see, because again, you've got to balance the amount of cuts that you're going to see with anything that's bare knuckle, with the amount of concussive damage that you can cause with it, which I guess, if you're going to be able to elbow people, then I guess that makes sense. But again, I don't know what I don't know about it.
It's very young. It's right. It's just getting started. So we'll see where it goes from there. The bare knuckle boxing, bare knuckle fighting has been around for a few years now. BKFC, BYB, BKB, all of them. Believe it or not, the cuts and breaks are way less than you think. There are a lot of cuts and there are a lot of blood, but nothing to the point that's going to keep you out of action for a really long time. There's a lot of fighters that are back in there every 3 months. They're fighting. It's like,
I believe it. And I probably, as you as you train and you kind of learn the ins and outs of what you can and what you can't do bare knuckle as opposed to with a gloved hand. I absolutely. There's probably a learning curve at first, but people adapt pretty easily.
Oh yeah. So we do a thing called the speed round here. Where we ask 10 wild questions. Yeah. We're gonna ask you 10 questions. Before we do that though, I want to ask you, like, you said that your kids at school talk shit, but are they fans of yours? Do they like? I know they talk shit because most teenage kids are assholes, but do they?
If they're fans, I wouldn't know.
No, you wouldn't know. I was gonna say, do they get a little sense of pride that like my fucking teacher's out there?
Here's the thing. If they are, I don't know. None of them are gonna. Here's the thing. You want to talk about?
They're not gonna let you know.
Protect yourself at all times. They do a real good job with that.
They're stone faced they're all talking about it before you walk in. Like, oh my god,
right.
Oh my god, did you see him last night? So crazy, he won the title. And then you walk in, they're like, bitch.
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
What you looking at?
What did they say? I walked in today, and they were talking about like, they're like, I'm gonna drop you like that second round. And I was like, okay. I was like, I'm glad you watched the fight. It's fantastic.
That is pretty fun. It's
not budging.
That's something like interesting. There's like a real here come the boom type fucking dynamic.
Oh my god, when that movie came out, holy shit, that was brutal at work.
They start calling you Kevin James.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it was that and Warrior. I was like, come on. I was like, both of them were teachers. I was like, son of a bitch.
Oh, that's funny, man. That is fucking great. Man, we can't wait to see you fight January 21st. I don't know much about Ed Collins. What can you tell us about your opponent?
I know that he's got a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I know he's got some Thai experience. I've seen a bunch of his fights seem like they go pretty quick, and it either goes his way or it doesn't. So I'm interested to see. What I can exploit and kind of where I can take the fight as far as trying to bring it to where I know that I can succeed and be very successful.
These are funny comments. Do your students ever comment on your thighs?
No, Joe Ivy, they don't. Because I'm wearing full pants when I'm doing that. It just looks like I'm wearing skinny jeans.
The girls in class probably just stare at him and learn nothing.
No, that's not accurate either. They talk the most shit.
It's because they all got little crushes on you. They're like right before you walk. See all the guys in class were like, "Hey, did you see Mr. Norman fucking beat that dude the other day?" And when you walk in, they're like, "Yeah, bitch, we saw that second round." Yeah. The girls are like, "Did you see that gray sweatpants picture on the internet?"
No.
And then you walk in, they're like, "Oh, hi."
So my original shirt for the last fight was supposed to be me just wearing my championship belt in like Burt Reynolds on Vanity Fair. I put that up and I was like, man, this is gonna be fantastic. I got a call from my boss / principal quick. She was like, hey, buddy, you need to take that down now. I was like, Okay, all right, boss. Sorry. They're like, yeah. They're like, if one of our kids come in with that shirt on, she was like, I don't even want to have to deal with HR on that. I was like, yeah, okay.
Oh man, it's a weird two. It's a really weird two worlds that you got to juggle, man.
Yeah.
It's like because honestly, in the mixed martial arts and the combat sports world, you need to market yourself on social media to grow a following, to get sponsors, to get money. You want to get paid for what you're fucking doing.
That's why I'm a bad businessman.
So it's like that's a tough spot to be in, man.
Yeah. It's it's the same way porcupines kiss really carefully. So it's just, you got to manage it.
Well, you know what? We can't wait to see you fight. I'm sure your students feel the same way. We're going to do a speed round with Mr. Corey Norman, the 3-division champion, the light heavyweight champion, who will be defending January 21st against Ed Collins. Here we go.
All right.
Number one.
Okay.
Of all your tattoos, which one was your favorite?
Of all of my tattoos, which one is my favorite?
You got a shitload of them, so.
Yeah, just a few, the one that I got done on my inner arm, it's of a tiger. It's a tarot card. My oldest girl, her name is Isla, and for the longest time we called her Isla the tiger, and so I got that one for her, and that's probably one of my favorites.
Nice. Love it. Number two.
What's your favorite ornament on your Christmas tree?
I don't know what any of the ornaments are. Come on, guys. Come on. The giant bow on the top. There you go.
Oh, dude.
You have like a pickle or something?
You could have easily lied and been like, my daughter, when she was in second grade, she made.
She did. Damn it. Yeah, that's it. The one with her face on it. With her
parent fail. Number one.
There we go. That's my favorite one. The bucktooth grin that she's got on that one.
The bucktooth grin. I love
nice.
it, man. All right, number three. If you were competing in a lip sync battle and you had to perform 2 songs, which 2 songs are you choosing?
I'm choosing karaoke, 1. 2, it's going to be Bust a Move by young, now old MC. And then it's going to be, let's see. We're going to do I've Been Everywhere by Johnny Cash.
You know all the words to both of those songs?
Yahtzee. Yup.
Yahtzee.
All right, Mike, hit it.
You know what's funny is you just asked him the tattoo question, and then he brought up Johnny Cash. There's a really, not really famous, but a famous MMA fighter, Alan Belcher. I don't know if you've ever seen his Johnny Cash tattoo. Yeah. It's infamous, right? Everybody knows that tattoo. I just thought it was kind of funny that
I never knew what it was until he fought Akiyama, and Akiyama hit that awesome trip on him. Belcher's like, that was a good one. I was like, oh shit, okay.
We just watched him. He's now fighting bare knuckle. He fought Tony Lopez in his debut and won that one in I think it was a unanimous decision. He looks pretty good in bare knuckle, man. He's about 50 pounds bigger than he was in MMA.
Akiyama or Alan Belcher?
No, Belcher.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Belcher fought at 185 for most of his career.
Whew, so he's heavyweight now?
He came in at
huge.
235 pounds, yoked out of his goddamn mind.
Just a little bit of Mexican supplements, but okay. Yeah, sure.
That's that horse meat.
You know what? We've got it. Just growing big in Tennessee.
All right, number 4.
How long do you think it would take to drink a standard size above ground swimming pool of water?
What in the hell?
Not milk, not soda, water.
Yeah.
I like that water. So, so we're doing. That's gonna take probably about 3 months.
3 Hold on. Hold on. I'm gonna pull up the gallons. An above ground swimming pool takes.
Is it just me?
Just you. A standard 15-foot.
Oh, it's above ground. It's way longer than that. Then never mind.
4,646 gallons.
Okay, so that's going to take me 4 years.
I think it'd be more like 15 years, to be honest with you. I don't know, man. I always ask that question.
It's a wild ass question.
Some of the people will be like, "Oh, dude, 2 weeks." I'm like, "What? Do you know how much water is in a fucking
dead.
pool?"
You're dead.
You are literally drinking 200 gallons a day. Maybe more. It's fucking nuts. All right, number 5. Here we go. If you could eliminate one thing from planet Earth, what do you eliminate?
So I prescribe to certain ideas of economics, and there is a lot of human beings on the planet. I'm not going to go the dark route in this. I'm just going to say poverty. There we go. We're going to eliminate poverty from the planet.
There's so many ways you could have gone there.
There's a lot of ways I could have gone on that.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Ben fucking Field says, "Drink or butt chug." The swimming pool.
Ben, just why?
He's so
just why?
All right, number 6.
What's the craziest thing that a student has ever said to you?
Oh. It's the reason. Jesus Christ. This is the reason why I went. The moment that this student came to me and said this and asked me this question with a straight face, I then went to my boss and said, "I need to teach health this summer." He said, "How long do you keep the condom on after you pee in the girl?"
What the what the hell conversation were you guys having before that?
No.
Random ass shit.
He was sitting there and he's like, "I gotta go to the bathroom." I was like, "Okay." So he goes to the bathroom, comes back, and he's like, "Mr. Roman, can I ask you a question?" I was like, yeah, sure. So I'm thinking this is gonna be whatever. He's like, "Yeah." He asked me the question. I was like, "I'm going to need to talk to your counselor just for a quick second about something completely unrelated." I went down, talked to the counselor, and then talked to my boss. I was like, "Cindy, I need to teach health to these kids this summer because that's egregious."
Yeah. Oh my God.
That is fucking a phenomenal answer. And you know what? My 10-year-old right now, he's in 5th grade, and like the school sends home this YouTube video on emails parents. It says, "We're going to be watching this video on puberty.
Yeah.
If you want to watch it with your child before they go to school." So we watch it with him, right? He's the most mature kid in the world, right? He's like, they show, they talk about erections and wet dreams and vaginas and all this shit. And he's just sitting there like
taking it
all. He's not a fucking dickhead about it, right?
Yeah.
So he goes to school and they bring all the 5th grade classes to the cafeteria on this big screen. There's 4 classes worth of kids. He gets home.
What a horrible way to teach that class.
It's like they're showing like a naked, like it was like an animated naked girl, and they show like her vagina and stuff like that. And like, "Daddy, you should have seen how crazy everybody went when they showed that girl's vagina." I was like, "What?" He goes,
"Welcome to the real world, buddy."
He goes, "One kid just got up and started running around the auditorium."
Yeah.
"Today I am a man."
You go like this. You're like, "Imagine this, son. People have started wars over this."
It's like,
you ever hear of Achilles?
Space Odyssey, just the apes just losing their minds.
Oh, dude, it was crazy.
Wait till you find out how many people have been murdered over a vagina.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah, turf wars. You ever hear of Troy? That whole fucking war was over a fucking woman. So when we were watching the video of my 10-year-old, my 7-year-old is like earshot away, and he's going, "Ha! Penis!" Woo! He's like, it gets way longer when it gets hard. The 7-year-old saying that. I'm like, "You just stop. Just stay over there and shut up." Gets way longer. Good. Dude, it's hilarious. Anyways, that's enough penis and vagina talk for tonight. Number 7. Here we go. If you could fight anyone in MMA history, who would be your dream opponent?
I would. I wish that George and I were the same weight class.
St. Pierre?
Yep.
That's awesome.
You might be now. I haven't seen him for a while, so
I follow him on Instagram. He's big. He ain't that big.
Yeah, because he did fight at 185, but
I bet you that's his walk around weight right now, though. He posted a picture of himself like eating breakfast with his shirt off, because that's what everyone does. They eat breakfast with their shirt off at a restaurant. That's what George. He's just like, and he's all fucking jacked up, but he don't look any bigger than like 185. I think.
If I had to choose somebody from my weight class, Randy
Couture. Fuck yeah. No John Jones. You don't want to smack him around?
I hope I get the chance to see him at some point. Yeah.
Outstanding, man. I hope you do at one point. Number 8. Here we go, Mike.
If you could have dinner with any 3 people, dead or alive, who would they be?
Okay. Teddy Roosevelt, Abraham Lincoln. Okay. Do I get to fight one of them?
If
Sure.
you want to, you
Okay.
could fight at the table. You
Hey,
could.
what kind of dinner party would it be if somebody
Okay.
didn't throw down?
I would want to royally beat the shit out of Andrew Johnson. God damn it. You want to talk about one of the worst presidents in U.S. history? That guy is fucking single-handedly responsible for the schism in racial divide in American history and the schism in political issues across the board. God, on top of that, he had one of the worst haircuts of any president in the United States. Oh my God. I would want to have
wait a
Teddy
second.
Roosevelt and Abraham Lincoln beat the hell out of Andrew Johnson with me. Yep.
Haircut versus haircut. Trump, Andrew Johnson.
Andrew Johnson. He looked like a wet dog.
That is a social studies teacher
That
talking
good?
right there, my friend.
I mean, honestly, like it was the same. They have the same. I can't even make it, but like it looked like a bulldog that had just taken like a bulldog that had took like 100-yard dash in a 90-yard room. Like it was bad. Sorry,
man.
that was a lot of content area real quick, but you're gonna throw me softballs. I'm gonna throw them out. So
you know what though? That's an educated answer right there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Fucking some people be like, "Oh, dude, fucking give me a Pam Anderson in her prime, Tommy Lee, and Tony Montana, and me and him will do coke."
character. Jesus Christ.
Number 9, best and worst present you've ever received for Christmas.
Oh God. Best I mean, this shirt is pretty damn good. I'm not gonna lie. I was telling myself like this might be probably the best present I'm gonna get this Christmas. The worst present
is outstanding.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you open up the present, you just go, as you're opening, you go, what the fuck is this? But in your head, and then you're like, oh,
hey, I love it.
Oh,
nice. You know what? Here's the thing. I think
it wasn't that shirt you have on. That might be the best.
That's what you just said.
My brother got me a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu like instructional guide one time, and this was already while I'd been like grappling for like years, and like it was like beginner's guide to submission wrestling. And I'm looking, I was like, what the fuck? Like, did you just find this at the library? Like, I was like, but I mean, of course, I had to be like, hey, thanks, Colby, appreciate it. But I mean, you know, whatever.
Dude, that's fantastic. The shirt is by far the best.
Oh yeah,
it's fantastic.
I was distracted a second ago because Ben said, would Lincoln still have the hole in his head
at the dinner?
Benjamin, I'm going to say this as kindly as I can. You need to take 5 steps back from talking about one of America's greatest presidents. I have a tattoo of a penny on my arm because of that man.
God, Ben just goes hard.
He got no class, man.
That's for sure.
Unbelievable.
It's just unforgivable. I cried at the Lincoln Memorial the last time I was there, Ben.
Ben, we're all going to be in the same area up in New York, and I hope that the same dynamic between you and Corey over the internet is in person, because I'll laugh my ass off.
Hey, do you want to talk about the cream corn? It's like, no, Ben. No, I don't.
Last but not least, this is from Miguel. Go ahead. All right.
What is something your daughters watch on TV that drives you insane?
In a good way or bad way?
Bad way.
Okay.
This is coming from, like, you and Mike both have daughters. I have nothing to do. My kids watch Marvel and fucking violent shit, and they love it. So
okay, so I got 2. So one is Blippi. He is Mario's cousin that is probably mandated to stay 25 feet from any schoolyard at any given time. Like, I don't appreciate that man at all. So there's that.
That's like one of my top ones right there.
Yep. And then there's
Blippi.
Yep, Blippi. And then there's A for Adley.
I don't know what that is.
Never watched that.
Don't. It is essentially just, it is like all the ways that you're bereft as a father. It's like this stay-at-home dad who does, I want to do a box for today instead of going to school. I make you a 5-star meal. It's like, easy, dude. Some of us got to work for a living. And this guy's like hanging out. He's got his like hat backwards and he's got his like Keanu Reeves looks like easy. And then like you hear people be like, oh, he's such a good dad. I was like, I'll choke him unconscious and leave him drooling on the linoleum. Don't. Like, I can't. So every time my kids are like, Dad, why don't you hang out with us like A for Adley's dad? I'm like,
A for Adley.
Yeah.
Oh,
And now
boy.
we're done with the iPad now. And
Yep.
all right, I'm going to do one extra because my kids recently discovered a show, and I'm throwing this out there for you. If you have Disney Plus, find the show Bluey.
That's what we watched. I was just.
It's so damn good.
I love that show.
It's so good. I watched it. First episode I watched is this like really like inspiring story about overcoming like language barriers and stuff. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, yeah, this is a great show. Kids like, can we watch another episode? Like, yeah, it's 10:30 at night. Yeah, sure, go for it. Like, it's I love
got
this
a
show.
tear.
They do the keepy uppy. They had the balloon. In one episode, they're trying to keep the balloon up in the whole episode. I was like, I do this. I love
all
this
the time. All the time. Like, I watch it. I'm like, this show is single-handedly made me a better father. Like, I'm like, okay.
I love that show. I hate Blippi. I have a really funny story about who that guy who plays Blippi. He was a former Air Force. He was formerly in the Air Force. And he also was trying to get famous for a while, so he made a video that was pretty crazy. Do you know about it?
I don't, but now I'm on the edge of my seat.
Okay, so you remember the Harlem Shake videos that came out where the music was like do, 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 do. So everybody was like normal doing something, like maybe they were like and then all of a sudden it would go when the beat dropped, everything was nuts.
Yeah,
all
it
right,
sounded like a Fat Boy Slim beat. Yeah.
So Blippi, what he did with his buddy before he was Blippi is he starts off and he's sitting on a toilet with a helmet on, right? And his friend is like standing up and they're kind of like just bobbing their heads and whatever. And then when the scene changes, he's actually standing on the toilet with no pants on, crouched down, and his friend is upside down with his legs on the wall. And he absolutely 100% shits all over his friend. For real. 100%. And when he became famous, when he started getting popular as Blippi, he hired a bunch of lawyers and they scrubbed the internet. So you can still find that video, but it's not easy. That is 100% true story.
He's got a poop video on the internet.
I found it at work because we talked about it one day, and I was like, you know what? We're gonna find this video today, and we found it.
Do you know that episode of The Office where Michael kisses Oscar and like Pam's just like watching it? Like that's like the mental like equivalency of what I'm doing. Like that. What? My kids have watched it. Oh my god.
I thought the same thing. I'm like, yo, this son of a bitch.
Well, that's even more reason for me to say no more Blippi. He's gonna show on Amazon now.
Yeah,
I don't.
Yeah,
I
legit
honestly, show. I know the colors that Blippi wears. Does he wear like orange and white and blue?
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
I know what he looks
like. One of the Mario Brothers, but he's like the evil version of that.
But I can't tell. I can't say if I've ever watched one of those before.
Cool.
He goes to like Discovery Zone type places and plays and talks about colors of things and he also like goes to like science museums. Like the more popular he got, they let him get access to like the Boston Museum of Science, but I think he lives in like Washington or Oregon or something like that. So he'd go there when no one's there and he'd go through, but his voice like, like that's how he is the whole time.
Mike, when people discovered the video, that's when he lawyered up to get it off the internet.
I think that
wanted his show taken down or something.
No, I don't know the intricacies of that. I just know that like all of those videos have pretty much disappeared from the internet, you know, because
that's impressive to be able to do that. That's okay.
Yeah, because he's really popular. I mean, he's a multi-millionaire at this point. He's worth a lot of money.
Joe Ivy says, I just Googled him and he does look like someone who poops on people.
Oh God bless America.
Yeah, he's worth 40 mil.
Oh man, you know what? We just watched a scene from a movie called the movie 43.
Oh God!
And Chris Pratt's like, yeah, his girl wants him to poop on her, and he's like, then his one buddy's like, you really gonna shit on her? And JB Smooth's like, bro, shitting on someone's what you do a horse. You poop on someone you love.
I've never seen that movie. We got to see it.
No, you don't.
Got to see it.
Don't.
It's the best. Seems like it's the best.
All right, this has gone off the rails a little bit. Okay, so anyways, let's reel it back in. Thank you so much for taking part in the speed round for sure.
I appreciate that. That was fun. It's not every day that I get to answer ridiculous questions about children's shows and American presidents.
Yeah,
that's what I'm
watch
saying,
Bluey.
Watch Bluey. Yeah,
watch this.
If you did get anything. Yep,
what the fuck Bluey. Is Mike doing?
Is he gonna get a balloon and just toss it up in the air?
Happened to be right here on the floor. Look at that.
Are there action figures for it?
Yeah, that's it.
I hadn't done
That's
my
the
Christmas
dad.
shopping yet. I know exactly what I'm doing right now.
I think that's the dad.
Is that Bandit? No, that's Bluey.
That's Bluey.
Ben Fields got some fucking issues, dude. Does he look like the type of guy who bangs while wearing a CPAP? What the fuck, dude? Oh God,
That's part of the cream corn
it's
story.
It's an Australian.
We're gonna have to get this cream corn
No,
story.
I'm sparing. This is one of those things where you're like, oh, I want to know. Listen, you open Pandora's box, you play stupid games, you get stupid prizes. Don't. I'm saying don't.
All right. Well, we're gonna open that box.
Respect the man's wishes, Kyle.
All right. Well, he's given us almost an hour of his time sitting in his fucking car. We appreciate you, Corey Norman, 3-division champion, fighting January 21st against Ed Collins. Give us a few minutes, or shout out some people. Shout out to your sponsors are at the bottom there, and then we'll let you get on your way.
Thanks. As always, just want to thank all of the people that end up coming out to the fights. I absolutely, love all of you guys. People support, the haters, all of you guys. Could not be able to do it without you guys. Keeps me fueled, keeps me motivated. All the people that I see, at the gym who are, struggling with, reps and stuff like that. There's this guy at Catalyst Fitness who, always comes up to me. He has one leg. I see him doing squats. So every single time, oh, my legs hurt. I'm like, I've got nothing to fucking complain about. So to Froggy and everybody at Catalyst, thank you guys so much. Casey's Fitness, Kevin, thank you for helping me work on my boxing. OP MMA, all the people that train with me, guys, I love you so much. WNY MMA, thank you guys for accepting me in and help me work on all my skills, keeping me sharp. Blossom Buffalo, Doc Sullivan's, Julie's Pizza, Thumpers Things, Customs by Shy, all of you guys, thank you so much for believing in somebody like me. I could not do this without you guys. All my training partners, you guys know who you are. And to my girls, Isla, Elena, Nora, I love you guys. I could not be a prouder father.
That's awesome. Well, we will see you January 20th at the weigh-ins. Mike and Mish will be in the house, and we'll hang out.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
We'll get that cream corn story, and then we'll keep it rolling into pro. All right?
Sounds good.
All right, brother. Thanks for coming on. You're back. You're welcome back anytime.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it so much.
All right, take it easy.
Have a good one.
Let's go.